Alcohol abuse has long been hidden behind closed doors, just like diabetes. Denial doesn't protect families. It protects dysfunction. In Europe, DUI is called a crime. In America, we call it a mistake. And now those countries have gone even further. They use technology to screen and block the U.S. citizens from entering if they are considered a risk, including for alcohol-related offenses, through systems such as the European Travel Information and Authorization System, Etias. Now let that sink in a little bit. Countries with less freedom than we have are doing more to protect their people than we are. Countries that lived under communism until the 1990s, places that once had far fewer freedoms than we do, are now doing more to protect innocent lives than the United States. Nations that live without fundamental freedoms just one generation ago are now safer than we are when it comes to alcohol-related violence. Think about that. Places that once denied freedom now deny excuses, and fewer people die. That is how far we have fallen. My great-grandfathers and my son's father did not fight for this. In 1776, my great-grandfathers fought alongside George Washington for freedom. Not freedom without responsibility, not freedom without consequences, and not freedom that excuses violence. They fought for a nation where rights and accountability traveled together. Generations later, my son's father also served his country. He believed in duty. He believed in protecting others. He believed that service meant sacrifice for the safety of future generations. He did not serve, and he did not die so someone else could claim a right to drunk driving and kill his son. My son's name is Kenley. Kenley was a medical school graduate. He was trained to save lives, not take them. He believed in responsibility, service, and showing up when others were in crisis. Kenley did everything right. He followed the law. He lived with purpose. He was building a future centered on helping others. None of that protected him from a drunk driver. That is the truth victims are forced to confront. Doing everything right does not protect you in the system that keeps excusing alcohol violence. My grandfathers did not fight so centuries later the rights they defended would be twisted into freedom for drunks and punishment for their own descendants. My son's father and I did not serve this country so that someone else could kill our only child, have it dismissed as a mistake. He didn't mean it. And be given another chance. And then have me, his mother, treated as unstable for demanding accountability. That is not justice. It is the system protecting itself at the expense of the innocent. That is not freedom. That is permission. And permission to harm is not liberty. In episode 2, Europe calls DUI a crime. America calls it a mistake. And now they're using the technology Etias to stop us from visiting their countries. When a country refuses to protect its own people, it should not be surprised when other nations step in and say, no, you may not bring that risk here. Why does Europe call DUI a crime? Why does America insist on calling it a mistake? And who benefits from that language? Because it is not the victims. Silence is how this became normal. Speaking up is how it stops. This is not what my great-grandfathers fought for. This is not what my son's father served for. And this is not the freedom Kenley died under. Decades of pretending didn't make alcohol abuse disappear. It allowed it to shape leadership, policy, and public safety. Make sure to watch part 2 of this episode. Thank you. I am Mama Bear.